Funky. Funky. I don't know what it looks like from your perspective, but from my perspective, it's pretty fucked up, and it's pretty obvious. And I am just so tired of it all. Ouch. And I wish I could have answers to any of this stuff. I wish I could figure it out. At the very least, I wish I could figure out how to be more like you and not give a shit. Well, no, I'm just going to believe in Jesus. I'm going to believe in Jesus and everything's going to be okay. If Ken represented religious people in general, like, talk about a fucking cancer, a cancer of stupidity. You know, it's just insane. What's up, Cece? There we go. There's the reminder. I don't know, man. I just don't get what's going on here. I'm trying to that's who I am as a person, is trying to get away from the fact that what just happened with this adorable cat that needs a home and has been left out in the fucking, I mean, at least it's summertime, you know.
Yeah, what are we gonna do when it's fucking winter?
I don't think the cat will still be alive by then. I mean, there needs to be, what I want to know is, where's all the fucking, you know.
Why is she not getting in any trouble?
I mean, you know, what happened with Broly and the outrage and the, you know, the viral bullshit and all the people that were so mad at me and all that for you know, breaking my dog. Where's all that shit? Where is all the outrage? Why aren't the same people that did what they did to me regarding my dog that we still have and love and blah blah blah? Where are they now? What are you doing? Tony has done it again. It feels good. Yeah. 1 viewer, 2 likes. Why can't you love people other than Jesus? Because because Jesus is a fantasy. It's like catfish people, right? The people that get catfished, they don't love that person. They love the idea of that person that they've created in their own heads. They don't actually know that other person to be able to say they love them. You can't love somebody that's not loving you back. And it's the same thing with Jesus, right? Jesus is this.
When I pulled up, the kitty was standing outside her old house, just staring at the house.
That's what I saw this morning, right? How do you do that?
And they have a new puppy. This is their 3rd puppy, because they got 2 puppies in the past, and they got rid of them because they didn't feel like taking care of them anymore. So now they have another brand new puppy down there, after they just kicked their 3 cats out because they didn't want them anymore.
I just don't get it.
It makes me so mad. I don't even understand. There's no excuse for that type of piece of shit.
But like I said, it's the same thing with guys like Ken, who you know, real people would hold him accountable. You know, he can love Jesus because Jesus is all in his own fantasy. He controls every aspect of it. He ignores the parts that he doesn't like. Real people would be like, hey, Ken, why are you such a dumbass? Don't you have a real life? Don't you have anything else going on in your life? Why are you so obsessed with that guy? Are you gay, Ken? Kind of seems like you're a little gay and you just don't like it. But this is, it's like everything exists in there's a real way it exists, and then there's like this fantasy show thing that we put on and we tell people and we believe. I mean, there isn't much dumber than belief in God and Jesus. Really, when you step back and you think about it, like especially all you dumb Christians, think about how you think of Muslims, right? How stupid and crazy they are. It's all stupid and crazy. Your thing is too, right? But I mean, like the religious, the Bible, all of it, it's so obviously a control scheme created by and for the friars. There's no questioning that. There's no, there's no reality to it. And it literally, like, to think that people put all of their essence, they make their whole life, their whole everything is about this other thing, right? It's just fucking insane. If you care about the cat, you would feed it. It's hungry. Well, Mr. Know-It-All Dumbass Ken, I guess, didn't see the big food bowl that was put out there for the third or fourth time that we've done it. Yeah, but you know better. And see, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, they can't, they're so desperate to try to find something to say that they say something stupid. Like, you feed it and you can't, like, they think it just shows you how stupid they are. But this is what happens when you guys, when you're dealing with somebody so deep in the closet. Right? Clearly, this guy is totally obsessed with me. Totally, like, as much as he is about his Jesus, he's obsessed with me. And there's something to that. If you don't like me and you don't like what I'm doing, at least that's what you say, then how do you explain the obsession? And to me, it's just some dude in the closet who might even be surprised by how he feels about this situation. But this is what happens, right? When you have to lie in every aspect of your everyday life. You walk around as a character, not as yourself with this mask on. Look at me, I'm straight. I'm a straight guy. Look at, I believe in Jesus. No. Nothing about this guy is real. And this is how everything works. It's really fucking interesting, right? Like I'm watching LJ, Lawrence Johnson, and he's showing the latest Netanyahu video, talking about how we reject the 15-point plan, peace plan, and we're still going to do all our bombing, we're still going to do what we do, yada, yada, yada. And LJ is going, how can he talk like this? How does he see these crazy things? And it's like, dude, do you really think that you're, like, exposing something or seeing something that everyone else isn't? Of course they know exactly how insane he sounds. They want him to sound crazy. They want him to stir the pot, right? God is a jealous God. He desires love and fellowship from his creation. See, he's not even he's not even able to, like, we're talking about like crazy. And like I say, this you know, these hanging situations that are all over the place, literal hangings. You know, it's interesting because it's like, so this dude that I've had this back and forth with in the last couple days, right? God can't be jealous. Has never wanted peace. Comply or die doesn't sound much like a religion of peace. Yeah, no, they're fucking crazy. They're fucking crazy. It's a cult. It's just a cult. And it's all about keeping us distracted. At the end of the day, it's just one big fucking distraction because they know if we see the truth, we will revolt. We will no longer allow it. And like I say, this dude is a prime example of it. Where I was talking about it yesterday. But, oh, you know what? I can show you the video. I shared it. Let's see. This post is Jesus, Drew Gilbert, 1.7 likes, 319 comments. Look at this shit. As long as all these weird spaces in between. Yeah. All that. He typed all this shit out. Yesterday morning, I made my flight by the skin of my teeth. I finally got on a plane, sat down in coach, and there was already a bag under the seat in front of me. It belonged to the woman sitting next to me. She told me, I hope you don't mind. I took both spots because I have important work to do, and I don't want to have to get up and get my other bag. I told her I did mind. I purposely traveled with one backpack. Her response, well, you're in the aisle. You can just get up and get yours. Like, that's the kind of shit I would never take that shit. Dan Candy, entitlement. I wonder if she was black. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep looking. I don't care about that shit. That was just something I got distracted by. I want you guys to see this, and we can read the comments too. I never play any videos with profanity. Yeah.
We have to protect our daughters. This thing hurt me to my core. And to hear her screaming, somebody please call my mother.
Call my mama.
I gotta find her. I just want to
watch. Look at this clown.
I just want to check on her.
I just want to check on her.
Watch this.
Okay. So watch what happens. I don't play videos with profanity in them. Please let me call my mama. Please let me call my mama. He's telling her. Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Now this definitely gets a little rough. He punches her in the face right there. I need to call my mama. Why is she having such a temper tantrum? You are 18 years old. This is how you're acting.
I'm good. Just waiting to take her.
It doesn't sound like real crying. Because she didn't want to listen. She must have never been told no. Exactly.
No, you ain't getting shit now.
Right.
I'm not getting shit now.
He's gonna call my mom.
Somebody call my mama.
Look at how she won't fucking listen. Call my mama. Look at this. Yes, you were. It's on camera. Look, there's no tears actually coming out of her face. So,
Pipe looks really cool with the smoke, you know?
so I'm the only other person to comment. So I commented, equal rights means you're treated the same, especially if you act like this. If a dude acted like this, he'd get his ass beat. I'm not a fan of police, but I'm also not a fan of entitled black women who think they don't have to follow the rules. If she just would have listened and cooperated, she would have been she would have been fine. And if the pig was in the wrong, she would have had a lawsuit. All right? So, the guy, Laro G. Turner, Laro is his name. I think this is his first comment. He said, now I'm going to read it as it comes across, right? This is how stupid she is, or this dude is. Entitled, comma, women do the little girl is 18 years old. If you call an 18-year-old female a little girl, like, you're in the wrong. She would never be like, you're right, I'm just a little girl in any situation whatsoever at all.
I'm a woman.
Right.
I'm 18. Fuck off.
You can't tell me what to do, blah, blah, blah. She would have that sort of attitude. So you're calling her a little girl, just to start off. It says, properly her, all one word, and no space in between the period. Properly her first time ever having an encounter with the police in her entire life. I doubt it. The thing is, space, comma, space, the officer treated her like a grown man, space, comma, space, threw her on the ground, punched during her face, space, comma, space. He would have never done a little 18-year-old white girl like that, space, comma, space, but they do. Especially the 18-year-old white girl who acts like a stereotypical black girl and doesn't listen. Right. That's exactly what I thought. Exactly what I thought. We had an encounter with our neighbor not too long ago, and
Is 31?
something, yeah. And when she couldn't argue her point, when the things that I was saying to her
You still need that? 'Cause I gotta go.
were, yeah, just give me a minute, were upsetting, she started screaming, ah, 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 and grab her phone like she was gonna throw it, but then caught herself. Like, you're an adult. What are you doing? How do you do this? Anyway, I gotta read through this real quick. He says, wouldn't have treated a little white girl like that, space, comma, space. I know that, space, comma, space. And you know that, everybody knows that. The different way that officer treat white people, that officer treat white people and black people is outrageous. Period slash N. Like I said, question mark slash N. Without that batch, him and her dad should go toe to toe, and I hope he whoops, period, space. That officer's he's not going to put the swear word in, so he's going to put a star, you know, because God doesn't know what you mean there, and you know, even though you put a star, we know what the fuck you mean to say. Like, it's just so stupid that people are this dumb. So I replied, is that English? Have you ever heard of proofreading? You want to be taken seriously and would be the first to cry when you're not. Yet you can't even be bothered to make sure your comment is readable, let alone make sense. All you're doing is making excuses when you don't know the situation. For unacceptable behavior, no matter what color you are. I should say it's unacceptable behavior. This is all just stupidity / ignorance, and I'm embarrassed for you, since you clearly aren't smart enough to be ashamed yourself, which is where true change comes from. Grow up and stop making real examples of racism and police brutality that much harder to bring to justice with your ignorance and entitlement. He says, dude, you have a grown a star grown ass YT man terrorizing a little 18-year-old child. Now it's a child. Child, what the hell do you think is going through her mind? This grown ass YT man. What is a YT man?
White.
Is that it? YT man, period. Space. Like, the thing about these grammatical mistakes, spelling mistakes, these aren't typical. The computer screwed up. He's hitting space twice repeatedly. He's using periods and commas in the wrong places repeatedly. Just slammed her on the ground and punched her in the face for merely asking, what did I do? That's not merely what it was. Merely asking, what did I do? Question mark. No spaces in between this. She asked him, comma, space, what did I do? Question mark, no space, and he slammed her on the ground and punched her in the face. Like, look at this dumbass's. Look down right here. Look right here. What did I do? Question mark. She asked him, what did I do? Question mark. No space. And he slammed her on the ground and punched her in the face. Like, this guy is repeating himself. This guy is writing out these comments. He's typing this shit out. Now this officer was hired to... Now, comma space. This officer was hired to serve and protect its citizens. Period. Now, comma. Let me ask you a question, period. Did you see in this video anywhere, question mark, space, where the officer is serving and protecting this young 18-year-old child? Now, please answer that question. Return. Like, seriously, look at how stupid this guy is. Now, please answer that question, return. And I'm still watching your video open-mindedly. Now, comma, space. Was that legible? That's how he spells legible. And proof read enough for you? Clearly it wasn't. I said, LOL, so now 18-year-olds are little girls? Are children? Funny how, I said, quote, I said, in parentheses, funny how the video starts where it does, so we can't see what was said and done before this. Why didn't she just follow instructions? This is as pathetic as your attempt to type, without looking and sounding like you failed 10th grade. When POC like you make everything about race, it makes it impossible to fix the racism you cry about. At no point do you suggest she follow the law. Instead, you cry almost as much as she does about what happens when you don't listen to the pigs / follow the rules. She knew exactly what she did. She just didn't like being told what to do, like most stereotypes. Seriously, how do you type such stupidity and not expect to be called out on it? Oh wait, it's that entitlement that you seem to always show, then cry when it's not catered to. All you do is prove my point and justify why white people treat us like second-class citizens, because you clearly are. Your grasp on the English language, the only language you speak, is embarrassing. How did you pass 7th grade speaking and typing the way you do? Oh yeah, because black people failing is by design, and they make you too stupid to even see it. Therefore, you never improve. And calling her a child over and over again just proves how misogynistic you are, since I guarantee she would never accept you calling her child in real life. And she'd have just as much of a temper tantrum as she did here if you did. It's not hard to see her as a child when she keeps wanting to call her mommy. Something I have never said when dealing with an adult situation since I became an adult. I guess you can't relate. I even invited you to come show your ignorance on my feed, but like a typical stereotype, you were too much of a coward, like most stereotypes are, to show up and make your argument. Oh. You should be embarrassed by all of this, but you're too much of a stereotype to be, and that is exactly what is wrong with our people. He just responded to that and said, well, period, / and since. Like, look at this. That's what he started with. The video did not show what she did. We can't assume now. Isn't that right? Furthermore, I watched your stupid ass illiterate all over the fucking place getting high. I don't, is that supposed to be dickhead? I don't even know, because he's not an adult and can't write out the words. Extra long video, and you act and seem as dumb as a fucking rock. Like, if you're typing out the swear words like that, you're still swearing, you fucking idiot. Point blank, that officer needs his fucking ass whooped, because yes, an 18-year-old girl is still a child, especially mentally. And then he said, and you
Stop them!
I don't know what that is.
Water
Is this
bottle
supposed to be
on the
like fag?
counter.
I don't know. Always say we make everything about race, but the truth is you white motherfuckers constantly make shit about race, and we just react to it. And I know your ass is half black, but it does not show physically, nor does it show mentally, you retarded fuck. Hang on a second, hang on. Sorry, I had to tag that guy again. Yesterday, those were 46 minutes ago. This time he says, and this was from yesterday, she's a little ass girl, man, 18 years old, that fucked up ass racist officer wouldn't have done that to an 18-year-old white girl, and you know it, so stop saying stupid ass shit. I don't even know why y'all come on our post and say the dumbest ass shit. I had some other broad say, shut yo bitch ass up. He's a grown man using his authority to get away with an assault. Now we're coming after you and your entitlement. Almost done. Then he says to her, okay, Den, D-E-N, while he's trying to take up for that grown-ass white man trained to hurt people. That's the end of it. I said, LOL to her. I tagged her. Way to prove my point. If she was smart, she would have complied, and if there was something nefarious going on, she could have gotten paid from the lawsuit. Your caveman mentality is why people of color have had such a hard time getting ahead, and it's all by design. Your ignorance is exactly why this dumb broad, black or white, is in the situation she is. She's literally having a temper tantrum calling for her mama, and she's an adult. Or at least she's supposed to be. This is pathetic, and it's why real examples of racism are so hard to hold accountable. This is like when dumb broads cry rape when it didn't really happen. It's why real victims have such a hard time getting justice. You're disgusting, and make people like me have have much more difficult time spreading truth than we should. And I said to him, I guarantee you wouldn't be upset if she was white. Just look at your feed. Not one story proving me wrong. Black people in the U.S. can't be racist, but we can be and are prejudiced as fuck. While refusing to see this, the irony of all of this, it's the friars that keep us Goyim hating each other over the dumb shit. As a POC, you should be embarrassed by this ridiculous child and insist that black women stop being such children when they are being held accountable for their actions. The pig was definitely a bit too rough, but I also guarantee this dumb broad is the first to act like a tough guy when she doesn't get her way with men and gets in their face claiming she's not the one or some nonsense. Black or white, if an adult female acts like this, she deserves everything that comes her way. Just imagine how awful it is to be her man or one of her baby daddies when she calls her mama, who is probably 400 pounds, every time she doesn't get her way. It's just as important that we Goyim fix ourselves. There is no silly white man's Jesus, and take responsibility for our part in all of this, as it is we Goyim fix our broken racist police system, which can never happen if we continue to act like this crazy broad when we get caught. Again, I guarantee she was driving like a maniac, since black women are by far the worst drivers in society, surpassed Asians with their aggressive attitude alone. Breaking the rules and or defending this insanity while pretending it's racist is undeserved. We Goyim people of color need to be the change we want to see and call out this BS when we do it. Just look at the dumbass broad that you're responding to. Both of you defending behavior you wouldn't accept from a child, let alone a friend or family member in front of you. Anytime either of you want to debate this like adults, you're more than welcome to come to my live and do your best. Just know I will 100% be using this exchange as content, blah, 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 blah. It's also embarrassing, and I almost can't blame them for looking down on us. He says, bitch, because, he's not going to type it out, but bitch, it ain't black or white. She was black. And that's why she got done like that, because you racist ass motherfuckers, motherfucking white people, cops, and all of your ass too, it's in your fucking DNA. That's what the fuck it is. Y'all are just some dirty assholes. That's what that is. Why don't you just keep lighting them up? Jesus Christ. You just put one out, and now you're lighting another one. That you're going to be like, can I just take this one with me?
No, I was going to hand it.
You would do the same thing. That's why you agree I'm done. Guy, you would do the same thing? It's just crazy. I said, seriously, Laro, how did you ever pass through school with that lack of understanding of your only language? You sound like an ignorant child, which is why you are so upset about this video showing the same thing in the first place. Again, she says, Guy Williams, you would do that. You would do the same thing. That's why you agree. I would never be a cop. But this is the exchange. And I tagged that Laro guy to come in here and say what he needs to say. But he won't. Apparently yesterday he sat there and watched my video. Said nothing to say though. Couldn't defend his perspective, couldn't say anything. And the saddest part of it all is it'll fall on deaf ears mostly, but that's profound, man. Couldn't have said it better myself. He just dug his own grave. The only time an 18-year-old is a child mentality if the parents didn't raise the child right. I mean, you honestly think she had a father at home? I'm going to call my mama because every time somebody ever does something she doesn't like, her mom is there to defend her. Her mom fights her battles for her. Like, it's just disgusting. And it's you know, it's like that. So you have that, and then juxtapose that with all the hangings and stuff that are going on. You know, every time you want to make the argument against the hangings, that cop just knocked that fucking guy out. This must be racism too. This guy is fighting the cop, but it's racism. Look at my past, for example. I had just a mom and many abusive stepdads. Yeah, and you were never allowed to act like a fucking child. The good thing about those abusive stepdads is they didn't let you act like a child long past the age when you're supposed to. Like, it's one thing to act like a child when you are a child. But this is fucking crazy. Right? This is crazy. I wish that Laro guy wasn't such a fucking punk-ass coward. You know, crying, oh, this brought me to tears. I saw the way she was calling for her mama. She knows that. She knows that by screaming, I want my mommy, that's going to make people fucking give her sympathy. Right? I want my mommy. People hear that and they automatically have a reaction to it. But that cop wasn't out of line. And we don't know what it was. We don't know what the cop was like. Step on out. Put your hands behind your back. Let me put you in cuffs. No, let me call my mom. She started fighting with the officer. Like, you know cops are racist. Why give them the go-ahead? Or maybe, don't make being an abusive stepdad have a place in this world? Of course it doesn't. Abusive stepdads were abused when they were children. You know, they're still abused kids inside. They're long since fucked up. But it's because we have a society that tells people that they have to have kids when they get pregnant. That abortion is the worst thing possible. That you know, it's romantic to marry your high school sweetheart. That women shouldn't have multiple partners and just all kinds of dumb shit. We're connecting dots as to why these young adults act the way they do. Yeah, it's fucking nuts. I see it all the time. I have kids in high school that you can literally see these same stereotypes. These black, fat black girls who use their rate, like, use racism to their advantage. As soon as something doesn't go their way and it's done by a white person, they automatically cry racism. Not that they're failing, not that they're doing something wrong. It's just the white person doesn't want them to do what they're doing. You know, it would be really great if black people would have saw that video and said, you know, yeah, you know what, that cop was maybe a little too rough. But again, we don't know what happened beforehand, and we know she didn't comply. You know, when I got falsely arrested, so I got set up. There was a whole sting that was done to me. When they finally dropped the arrest, there was one guy on either side of me. They grabbed my wrist and put their hand on my shoulder, and they said, all right, guy, you're under arrest for yada, yada, yada. And, like, you know, of course, I didn't do it. You know, I was completely in the innocent. I was completely right. And I'm sure I could have broken free and started punching people and doing all that shit. But that wouldn't have done me any good. I would have been totally justified for doing it. Right? Especially in that situation, they weren't identifiable as officers. So I could have said I thought I was getting jacked. But, once the cops grab me and they're like, all right, like, they're putting me in the cuffs and shit, I'm not fighting with them. I'm not going to give them the legal authority to be able to beat my ass, shoot me, kill me. Come see it. It's going. What's up, Karen? You like that? It's good look, isn't it? You can find a lot, one word. A lot is 2 words, right? Of other people, been through 11 myself. I have no idea what you're talking about. Defend your moot claims or pay attention and listen, Manny. You get stopped again. No, this was back before. I'm talking about. So you didn't see the beginning, Karen. You're late. They don't blame. They claim that it affects them. If you think you got beaten up at 12, then one day you freak out at 18, you are not going to mention that affects your way of growing up. Not really sure what you mean there, bud. You guys hear me say it all the time. I don't think, I think there are all bad cops. I have multiple songs about the police and what they do. I think that cop was a little bit, out of line. But then again, I don't know what she was doing. Was she trying to bite him? Was she fighting? What was she doing? I know women always want to talk about equal rights and equal treatment. Yet when they act like a man and then get treated like a man, they always cry, but I'm a woman. If you're going to act like a tough guy, you have to be, you have to expect to be treated like one. You still hate my people with every fiber of my being. Everything we're talking about is because of you. Is because your people fucking make it all happen. Bad upbringing. Seems you did being hit had made you. Seems you did being hit had made you hold stuff in, champ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, I can't even, engage with that kind of stupidity. It's just dumb. It's just stupid ad hominem. It's just stupidity where it's like, why don't you just be honest? Dude, knock it off, you fucking cat. God damn it. Thing is on grave. What is the movie? I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I'm really, because I know the guy got my tag and he's clearly responded to my shit. But again, this is a dude who thinks that swearing in type is okay as long as you don't type the whole word. The implication is there. We know what you mean to say, but because you're not saying it fully, that somehow, it's just so stupid. It's the same exact, it fits in with the mentality that cries like he does over the video. Like it's all it all just fits together. You know? You're not surprised and go, oh wow, you know, I had no idea this person would be this and this and this. I'd have been way more surprised if the guy actually sounded educated in his defense, in his argument. Knowing he sounds like a fucking idiot, it, you know, there's no surprise there. That's what I expect. I expect him to be a stereotype, the way he's acting like a stereotype. Hey, dumbass, look it. Look at this dumbass. Crying and crying and crying. Notice how he's trying to bring up Iran and Persia and all this other shit. Hey, what about Mishnah Nadah 5:4? You fucking pedo piece of shit. Whatever bullshit history you want to give me about 1935 or any of that shit, it's all manufactured anyway. So why would I take any of it seriously? Especially when it's coming from a Mishnah Nadah metzitzia practitioner. My people are dying, you idiot. Shut up. Your people are partaking in the shit. Oh, wait, you're saying you're Iranian, right? Yeah, I hate the Iranian people. That's what I've been saying left and right. No, I hate you friars. Whether you're from Iran, or you're from the States, or you're from the UK, if you're a friar, I hate you. I mean, so were Native Americans, but people kept going, so I don't see this stopping. I don't know what you're talking about. So were Native Americans. You mean dying? You know, the thing about the Native Americans is we don't know that. We don't have that. We don't have recorded history of it. When it comes to what's going on with Iran, or with the Palestinians, with the Greater Israel Project, we actually have that happening in real time. But again, to me, Iran is just part of it. Iran is part of the ruse. Iran. We're being occupied by a radical Islamist regime and trying to get free. What's wrong with that? What are you even talking about? You're not understanding the entirety of the line. You know, you trust recorded history. No. That's the point. There is no Greater Israel Project. Right. You can't even spell right, man. Yep, there's no Greater Israel Project. It's just, like, extremely well documented. Yeah. But it doesn't exist. It's just what's happening. You know, I focus so much on stopping these friars, stopping the cause of the problem, but the symptoms of the problem are so awful. I really do hate what black people have been turned into over the years. Well, at least I speak 2 languages, you barely speak 1. I love when people take credit for shit they had nothing to do with. Right? If you speak 2 languages, it's because your parents, your situation created that. You weren't like, you know what? I'm going to teach myself to speak English poorly. No, it was part of your programming. You didn't do it. You can speak 2 languages, cannot type 2. You know, again, why would there be an Iranian here who's not a friar, but is also denying the Greater Israel Project and acting like, you know, I don't even understand this person's perspective. It's just stupid. Idiot! I learned English later in my life. I was raised monologue. You know, right? Again, people should know anything about you because what? You honestly think people know anything about you or care about you even a little bit? Like you're dumb as fuck. And it's really sad that you're going to come here and represent Iran, which much more leads me to believe you're just a friar in disguise. But this is how this shit works, man. I'm not like the whole Iran war bullshit. I don't buy it. It doesn't add up. Why hasn't Iran taken out Israel yet? They've threatened they were going to many times. If Israel does one more thing we don't like, if Israel attacks Lebanon, if Israel attacks us one more time, if anything happens, we are going to use our severely, our super powered advanced weaponry to take out Israel. Nope. You are just paid by the Iran yuan lobby in America. Oh yeah. It's not bullshit. You are just a coward that is afraid of war. Yeah, absolutely. I do not want to send dumb fucking, lied to, completely tricked kids to go die for themish bullshit. Yeah, I'm afraid of war. I hate the idea of war. Right. Look, you're fixing your shit. Ghost friars in disguise, right? Kids know what they sign up for. No, they don't. Not even close. They have no idea what they're signing up for. They think they're signing up for like patriotism and, defending their country, defending their families, and they think it's one thing. They have no idea what it's like to see somebody's head explode in front of them. To see their friend's head explode in front of them. They have no idea what it's like to be out there killing children, for Israel. They don't know anything. They have, like you should know, and the people around you should prevent you from joining. But as a kid, you don't have any idea what war is. They sign up to do whatever it takes to get a pension. That's what family drills into you. No, I mean, a lot of people sign up for the war to the military because they know that there's a pretty good chance they're going to be killing brown people. And they're racist. We can't just make it sound like everybody who joins the military is some sort of hero. They're not even doing anything heroic. They're following orders to go decimate people with an inferior, way of fighting back. It's fucking crazy. Iran is an ancient civilization and will rise again thanks to Uncle Trump and Uncle Bibi. I will dance and you will cry about it. What a fucking weirdo. Oh, they are the racist ones, not you. Who am I racist against now? Come on, let's see if you can do a better job. It's really all the money. No, they print the money. If you print the money, you don't care about the money. Money is not about them having it. Money is about us not having it. That's why money exists. It's so we don't have it. We barely have enough of it to get by, check the check. The vast majority of the people barely get by, don't have enough money to enjoy life, just have enough money to survive it. Money is fiction, yep. You disrespected and insulted my culture many times. Oh yeah? Did I? How? Oh, because you don't understand what Semitic means. Yeah, that's a good part of it. God damn, that's a fat ass girl. Gross. She thinks she looks good, and she is fat as fuck. God damn. If money is fiction, then THEN, do you use it? I mean, again, when you're getting stuck on stupid, there's no point in addressing it. Also, you see Persian rugs everywhere. We invented algebra and freaking human rights. Yeah, yeah, sure you did. Nothing says human rights like the way you treat your women and gay people, and you know, you're just a brown version of redneck. Right? It's just fucking stupid, man. You haven't made a single reasonable point yet. Invented rage bait. Even your religion is copied from us. Christianity and Judaism is just cheap copies of Zoroastrianism. Yeah. Yeah, my religion for sure. You know me, I'm always pushing religion. And misogyny, yeah. See, this is that stupidity where it's like, again, Iran is clearly a an important piece of the pre-world Tartarian sort of civilization, right? It's an important part of it. So you got Stephen A. Smith is now shilling for CarShield. CarShield is a scam. It's a total scam. There's all sorts of horrible reports about it, lawsuits, all that shit, stories of them not paying shit, blah blah blah. And yet Stephen A. Smith shilling this to black people because black people and dumb poor people are the ones that are gonna fucking fall for it. Religion is cults, yes. How'd that work out for your dudettes? That is the colonialist culture. Islam is not our culture. Just dumb. You're just dumb, dude. Nobody even talks about Iran and all your shit. It's not even a subject on this feed other than to say Iran is part of the fucking ruse. That's literally it. I don't care about Iran. I hope the people wise up to the idea of, like, there is no supreme leadership and ayatollahs and all this other dumb fucking nepotism bullshit. None of that shit is real. Obviously, your thing is part of the big world picture. That's it. You know, your shit isn't special because you're a part of it. Your shit is just another piece in the puzzle. Your history is kept from the world. You know, the people that are in charge don't let people to, come in and look and see and investigate. No, it's all just a big fucking ruse. And civic pride is a big part of their thing. People didn't have that shit, prior to the 1900s. It sort of started popping up in the 1800s, the late 1800s. Again, according to the narrative we're even given. Not saying it's true. But people didn't walk around being like, I'm from America. Look at I'm, that whole concept of civic pride is a relatively new one. Same thing with like Satanism. People talk about Satanism. The satanic panic of the 80s is what created Satanism. What do you think would happen to Iran in 1953? Close to the Indian country. Well, yes, none of Israel. Trump is killing the Ayatollah and making us free. Yep, sure he is. So stupid. To be Iranian and to think Trump has your best interest is just, it's a level of stupid and brainwashing that I can't even begin to wrap my head around. It's fucking stupid. 1953 was the time that the communist prime minister tried to stage a coup, a coep, and CIA done an anti-coup and restore the monarchy, but the left got it backwards. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but I don't do any of that shit, right? I don't sit here and try to convince you that one thing happened or another. You know, when it comes to the history, like to me, something fascinating about history is the Havar Agreement. In one regard, because it destroys the World War II narrative, but on the other hand, it was never taught to us. That's the kind of shit that, like, I question and I put towards the argument. But the main argument is that we're just being lied to. That's all it is. We're being lied to and pit against each other. And as long as we're lied to and we're arguing about stupid shit like my Iranian culture and blah, blah, then we're not talking about what the problem is. You know, we're not talking about the cult that runs the show. If you don't think the Rothschilds have their fucking hands in Iran, you're stupid. You know, Iran would have had a much stronger leg to stand on if they would have tried to help the Palestinians at any point. But they didn't. For 2 years, Iran just sat by and watched the Palestinians being decimated. And then finally, when Israel starts attacking Iran, now they're like gonna fight back. They prove that the Iron Dome is bullshit, and then they just stop. Like, there is no explanation for why Iran just stopped attacking. Iran should have taken out Israel immediately. All of those Muslim countries should have gotten together and gone against, you know, like there was no Muslim leader that was like, all right, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Yemen, Lebanon, let's all pull our militaries together. And yeah, we might not get along in this regard or that regard, but I mean, don't we all have this common enemy? I mean, it's the same story of the Native American bullshit that we were given. All these different Native American tribes didn't all get together and be like, hey, we need to eliminate this white fucking cancer that's coming through and destroying everything. Nope, white people would say, here, go here, we promise, that's it. We're not going to take, a couple months later, okay, you know what? Now you got to move to Kansas. Just move it all to Kansas, and then that'll be it. We promise you'll be... Okay, wait, now, why don't you move a little bit more west? Why don't you... Okay, we're going to put you in this little tiny piece of shit, useless area. It's really pretty, but it's not good for farming or anything like that. We're going to supply you with alcohol like it's fucking water, and we're going to just let you decimate yourselves. And they're okay. They never thought to unify? Low weapon supply, perhaps. That's what you come up with? What makes more sense? That all of these regimes all over the world haven't seen all this coming like I have. Like my dumbass, just some guy in Michigan, just watching the bullshit that we're given, told to think the opposite of what I think. But it's so obvious that I see it. You're telling me all these other countries that have all these military strategists and all these powerful people in charge, none of them thought like, hey, you know, we should start building some weapons? Obviously, Iran has a pretty substantial and superior weapon supply, right? Like that, or again, it's all fake. Because for the same token that Iran didn't destroy Israel, why didn't the Allies just fucking destroy Iran? You know, I mean, think about it. It's all just fake bullshit. Dictator puppets set up by the West. The West is an illusion in itself. There is no the West. Well, on a round ball flying through space, there is no the West. Didn't the U.S. run low too? Well, that's what they say. They say the U.S. is running low on weapons. Ooh. Guy's gotta pee. Pee right there. Ooh. Come on, hurry up. Well, you are Williams, my son. We are the shit when it comes to pooping.
Dad.
What? One big circus, one big clown show. Have a conversation. When you do that, there is no West. Yeah? Okay. I'm sorry you put limitations on it. We're talking about a global system. The illusions of the West, the East, all that shit, that's just part of the illusion. Like it's just stupidity. What you consider to be the West, I may live here, doesn't mean I'm part of it. And what you consider the West is, we answer to Netanyahu, who, at the end of the day, is just the face they show us. Netanyahu isn't shit either. He's just the actor they put in place to deliver their message. You could say anything you want. I'm just telling you that the idea of the West isn't real. You know, Western society, I know what that means. And that kind of shit is how we're pit against each other. But at the end of the day, there's no difference between a regular old Goyim civilian in, me in Detroit, and, in Iran somewhere or whatever. Like the civilians, the people, the victims, we're all in the same fucking boat. They're doing everything they can to just get us fighting each other. Look at that, 0 viewers, 6 likes, 0 viewers, of course. Again, it's like the whole genocide thing. I know a lot of you were this is new to you. Right? You have been awake your eyes have been open since maybe COVID, or I don't know. I don't know what your thing was, right? If you had been aware of the Israel Palestine, that whole narrative, if you've been aware talking about it for say the last 10 years, you know that prior to October 7th, there was no talk about it. There was no genocide. There was no, like the braggadocious nature in which they do things. They didn't want us talking about it. Everything was there to distract us from this. But around the same time is October 7th. I mean, like, Me Too had a huge deal, a huge to do with things. Epstein, I can't tell you how, it's because it is what it is now, you sort of forget what it was. But prior to this Trump presidency, the Epstein thing was just a silly conspiracy theory. It was not on the conversation. And when it come up, they used COVID to shut everything down. You couldn't just talk about Epstein with any old person on the street and they would know what the fuck you're talking about. It was the people like me who were presented with an Epstein and said, okay, well, it's not just Epstein and then it goes out. There's a pre-Epstein. There's more to Epstein than just Epstein exists and then what happens afterward. How did Epstein get to be Epstein? Where did he come from? What does he represent? And it started to shine a lot more light on Judaism than I think they ever wanted it to. Go. How's it going, man? First reporters going into the old Israel in 1946 compared Zionists to Nazi and got their careers right. Yeah, but that shit had been going on for much longer than World War II and the Havara Agreement and the Balfour Declaration and all that shit. These are all late in the game stuff. 1894 was the first World Zionist Conference held in Switzerland. There's so much more to this narrative than we were ever even, kind of told. I'm 47. When I was growing up in school, mine was literally the last generation before the internet was a thing. Right? The internet was there, but it wasn't like it is. It was, you could look up George Washington and shit like that. It wasn't, we would play Slither and it just wasn't, it was dial-up. It took forever. Some people would maybe be in message boards and talk shit, but it wasn't anything like it is now. You learn from it like you can now. Right? But when I was in school, every single year that I was in school, we were given at least a month-long history lesson on World War II and, subsequently, we didn't talk much about Israel. I remember that absolutely. It wasn't like Israel just wasn't a topic of conversation. We just didn't talk about it. We talked about, Israel being created because of it, but that was about it. But every year we given these lessons about how the Jews were victims, they were exterminated, they were 6 million, and you know, Anne Frank and just all of it. The Nazis, 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 Nazis. We heard all that shit. What we never, ever, ever, ever heard was the Havara Agreement from 1933 after Hitler already took over. Never, not once did I hear about the Zionist federations. Did I hear about the Jewish agency? Nothing. Nothing at all. Why can't people see that since pedophile files are spreading at the same rate as the Zionism friarism, that they're the common denominator on every... Because most people are followers. Right? As much as we want people to be more like us, be leaders, you have to, as the leader, you know, the part that's been taken away from you is the credit. You know, if I say, Matt, you're a fucking leader. You need to lead people. You've got your head on the right shoulders. You know, you've got things figured out. You're saying smart things, yada, yada, yada. People won't have any problem with that. As soon as I say, I'm a fucking leader, I'm really smart, I've got things figured out, yada, 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 people go, oh, you're just arrogant. You're arrogant. And we all know that's how things work. We're so much less likely to give ourselves credit. You hear people say shit like, well, Jay-Z pulled himself out of the hood. He lived in the projects and he became Jay-Z. How come other black people can't do it? Because Jay-Z's a fucking super genius. That's why. Don't take away from Jay-Z's credit making it sound like anybody could just do it. If they could, they would. Most people are NPCs. Right? Most people, like, it's never happened to me before where somebody asked me what I was thinking about and I could say, huh, nothing. And it'd be true. I'm always thinking about something. How you can exist and not think is beyond me. But part of being that is to accept the fact that there's a lot of people out there that fucking, that's not the case. They're literally NPCs sitting there just not thinking of anything. Why can't people see it? Because it's those same people that believe in Jesus and knowingly believe that they're Christians, which are second class to God's chosen people. They know the story. They know that the devil isn't even really the main bad guy in the Bible. He's sporadic at best. But it's Abraham. It's the children of Abraham that are the main big bads in the Bible, and it's them who kill your Jesus. And yet you believe that now, currently, the same people that were the bad guys and killed your Jesus, your Christian God's only begotten Son, are also your Christian God's favorite chosen people. You know, people have that, like, they know that's what it is. And yet they just accept it. And that's how you know there's something else going on. There's something different. Some of us just aren't that. It's weird, and those who do give themselves credit and are confident like you resonate with us non-PCs. Yeah. Yeah, it's just like with everything else. You know, you gravitate towards your people. And the thing is, because we're right? That's what resonates, because we're right. We also resonate with NPCs, because they know somewhere that we're right. Their programming gets in the way and prevents them from, you know, freeing themselves. I mean, it's the Matrix. The Matrix is the same shit. You know what I watched yesterday? I watched RoboCop 3 yesterday. And RoboCop 3 is terrible. It's one of the worst, like, sequel movies of all time. I didn't even want to watch it. I like RoboCop and RoboCop 2. Those movies are great. Terrible, but great. But RoboCop 3, first of all, watching RoboCop in 2026 is really interesting. to see how they predicted the world to be in the future, and it's just none of it's accurate. The idea of some big ass clunky robot that anybody could just run away from is so goofy, especially when you look at the robots that do exist. You know, the 4 foot tall robots that can do fucking martial arts, exhibitions and shit. RoboCop 3 is awful. It really is awful. Peter Welland's not even in it. You know, he doesn't even do the RoboCop role. It's that bad. But when you look at the underlying principle of RoboCop 3, RoboCop 3 is about Israel and the Palestinians. OCP is Israel, and they're breaking every law. They're attacking the police. They're violent, destructive, horrible people, displacing people. So they want this area. They're gonna take it. Who cares if people live there? They're gonna come take it. The people that live there should just be okay with being removed. And yet, the Resistance Network has tunnels underground, and it's just fucking crazy how much it mirrors what we're seeing today. But The Matrix was a mind-altering movie for those who don't think how we do. I mean, think about, you really think that two brothers who both end up being trans, the Wachowski brothers, isn't that what that is? I don't remember what their name is. Wachowski brothers? That they wrote that shit out? Do you honestly think just two random guys never made a movie before or anything like that? They just made The Matrix, all 3 parts of it? And then all the cartoons and all the other pieces, but mainly the first 3 movies? You think they just wrote that shit? They were just sitting around, okay, so then Trinity's going to say, and then they're going to get onto this, and Trinity's going to go, okay, I have to tell you something, Neo. But the thing I have to tell you is the thing that once I tell you that thing, the thing that I did say, you'll wonder, why did I not say the thing that I said to you when I said it? Why did I say the thing before? I should have said the thing that I said to you, because the thing that I say could change everything. And it's like, shut the fuck up and just say it. Yeah, no, you made movies if you made The Matrix. That's such an in-depth movie. Oh, it's so fucking crazy. The script is just so in-depth and deep and full of symbolism and history and all that shit. No, man. This is something else. This is, I don't know what it is, but and the reason why The Matrix resonates with us is because we know on some level it's true. Maybe it's not, maybe it is 100% true, but maybe it's just more symbolic of being plugged into this system that we have where, you believe that you have more right to life because your parents had sex on this dirt than people who had sex on a different dirt, people whose parents had sex on different dirt. Right? Like it's we see that the whole Jesus both, it's interesting how movies like Avatar, movies like The Matrix, whatever. I drawing a blank here, but these movies that literally go against religion in every form and basically tell us to revolt against the system are the movies that always resonate with us the most. And then let a movie outside of the Passion of the Christ come out that's religion. Those movies always fail. They didn't want Mel to make the movie supposedly because they knew it would fail. Religious movies don't do well. You ain't dialing out of this one. Yeah, no shit. All the movies, like Dragon Ball Z. Why do you think Dragon Ball Z appeals to us so much? This narrative that if we just train ourselves and do the right thing, we will evolve into further and further greater versions of ourselves. Of course that resonates with us. We're witnessing it. We're experiencing it. You know, obviously the machines are coming after me. You know, am I the guy that can fucking stop bullets and shit? No, that's stupid. Of course not. But I sure am the guy that like we talked about it yesterday. There is no explaining how my feed works and how my presentation works and is and everything that happens in this world right here. There's no explaining it by normal means. You don't know of anybody else who has a similar situation to me. You watch lots of other people, lots of which are truthers, lots of which say very similar things to me. And yet, they seem to be allowed to. So what's the difference here? What am I doing that's... Obviously, there's something else going on here. Each dome is its own universe. It's about all the dome worlds inside the Dragon Ball. It makes me think they put the firmament and many world theories in our face. Of course. Of course. You know, the more they try to hide something, the harder it is for them to deny it. Like when it comes to Mishnah Nada and metzitzia and all that. You know, they've tried their best to hide it forever, and now that it's out, they can't engage in it. Right? But the other shit, they put all that right in our faces all the time, you know, to make it so you'll see that stuff comes out just so it can be like when you try to talk to somebody about it. They'll be like, oh, what do you mean? Like the Matrix, dude? Oh, you've been watching too much TV, bro. It's all out there for us to you know, fall into whatever trap is going on. It's the Bilderberg effect. Never been booted out of the same gaff so many times in my life. Yeah. Like at some point you have to be able to say like, and I have a hard time saying it, so I don't blame you guys for not being able to do it. But at some point you have to go, this fucking guy's special. Something special about this situation. Millions and millions of other feeds and people and all that doing the same shit. For me to get something unique it's not how things work. And it's not really explainable any other way. If anybody's feed should be huge by now, it should be the guy that's been talking about all these same things the longest. Not guys like Ian Carroll who just appear on social media in March of 2023 and have zero social media footprint prior to that. That don't make no sense. There's not another feed that you've watched. Algo's been here the longest. Algo's had the most shit done to him regarding me than anybody. Algo's watched so many other people. Algo's actually been a part of the system, fighting the system for years. And yet none of that shit has brought about a network of trolls that do everything they can to interfere with multiple aspects of your life, admittedly, because you watch me. That doesn't happen with anybody else. You've never had somebody come to you and been like, I'm gonna fuck with you now because I saw you were watching this other person. That's not how shit works. I'm his special. I hate saying that shit. It sounds arrogant. Sounds ridiculous. But I don't know how else to describe it. 7 likes and 7 viewers. 7 likes and 7 viewers. That don't make no sense. That's not how shit works. Extreme confidence sounds arrogant to the untrained ear. Well, there's a huge difference between confidence and arrogance. Right? Confidence is because if you do say something that proves me wrong or shows me, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with being wrong. I get to go, okay, now I guess we go in this direction. Right? Like, there's nothing to be ashamed of being wrong. If I wasn't okay with being wrong, I wouldn't be where I am today. They mentioned the whole rain. It's bad not to for me. Well, I went downstairs and the laser fucking frequency light beams and shit, they apparently can't go through my house at certain point. Don't fight. Don't fight. You guys are on the same team. Matt's just agreeing with you in his own way. Yeah, but the thing is, I know problem is 99% of ears aren't trained. Yeah, but that's why we're here, right? That's what this is. We are the pebbles that start the avalanche. We might not actually see the avalanche, but we're the beginnings of it. And that's what we need to be, proud of. We need to understand that it's up to us that see it, that clearly aren't the NPCs, to fight against the system. We are the revolutionary group. We are, we are the Matrix. We are the Nebuchadnezzar, even though all that biblical bullshit, whatever. We are the fucking avatars. We're the blue monkeys. We're fighting for our absolute survival. And we're fighting for the next generation's survival. This is when the chat gets 40 or so, it might jump over 100. But I've noticed the chat has to buzz first. Mine won't be allowed to. You show me the other person that you've seen that has 4 viewers and 7 likes. That has 4 viewers and 18, 20, 25 likes. I do my part. At the end of the day, it comes down to you fuckers. I do more than my share. I put in the hours every day, even though it fucking wrecks me. I don't bitch about it, but understand that I'm in pain for the rest of the day. There's a reason why I smoke so much. And when I'm not, when we're not live and trying to formulate plans and ideas and share and work through the issue, I provide you with the music to pass the time. That's the anti-programming music. Instead of nodding your head, yeah, nigga, shoot, nigga, kill, bitch, nigga, hoes, beat those hoes, bitches, niggas, drugs. Yep, Instead of that, we have the shit that's telling you, fucking unite. Rise above. Right? And so, I'm doing my part. I'm fighting the only way I know how, the best way I know how, and in spite of the incredible effort that goes into stifling and censoring me, I can only do so much. I can't share my feed when I'm live. You guys need to do that. You guys need to be sharing the feed in 5, 10 different groups or whatever it is. Take a second, copy the link, go to Facebook, share it all over Facebook, and then come back. Whatever it takes. I need you guys to step up and do it. I can't do it. Spread the word, people. Like, share, and sub. Spread the word by mouth. Everyone must know the world's fate depends on it. Yeah, you know what? I have to learn to be comfortable with that. I don't like the position that puts me in, but that's what I am. It's just what it is. Like, it's terrifying for me to think it actually works. I actually become somebody that is well known. I have a platform. That's going to affect my children. That's going to affect my wife. Our lives are going to be in danger. Like, it's terrifying. The amount of hatred I'm going to receive. That's energy that comes my way. I'm empathetic. I don't want to feel all that energy, but I have to accept that, I write the way I do. I do what I do. For whatever reason it is, this is what it is. So I need to be accountable for what I do. Uh-oh, looks like we just got a new flock of fucking dumbasses. Many channels like that run 2 to 10 people in the chat. Never seen it. You show me another chat that has 4 viewers and 7 likes. And maybe that's a little bit more doable, but show me the one that has 4 viewers and 25 likes. Show me the person that was averaging in the thousands of viewers every day, in the thousands of views every day, up to the 20, 30,000, 40,000 sometimes. And then Charlie Kirk happens, and the next day, it's completely different, and stays that way. You don't take the burden, and don't take the burden alone. I cry myself to sleep sometimes, like last night, thinking about all this stuff. Yeah, it's terrible. I do too. It's not easy. But we must preserve. We must preserve and we must succeed. Not with the subs he has. Yeah, that's true too. Got to throw in that 2,700 subscribers part. I've noticed this is a tight group here. Kind of makes people stopping by here, no space. What? Okay. I mean, again, look at this dumbass. Not capable of actually engaging, so they just keep copying and pasting the same thing. And they're almost doing it at a speed that doesn't seem like... Wow, how could a human do it that fast? It's pretty crazy. Let's see. Who is this cat? Let's see. Joined 2 months ago, has 1 subscriber. Herbie Humbug. Right there, that's enough for me to go, That's interesting. Kind of like you always say, everyone is a D-U-M-A-S-S. I've never said that. I've never called somebody a doom ass. Yeah, if I say it, it's spelled correctly. So, I've never said that in my life. You used to have more people in the chat. How many? I don't fucking know. Lots. There were times when the feeds had 300 fucking viewers at one time. Multiple times. Many, many times did we have over 100 viewers at any given time. Many, many, many times. It's all pretty obvious. Doom ass, yes. I mean, what does lying about it do? What does making the claim do? Even though it's true, it makes me look like I'm, because people don't see it anywhere else. They think, well, I must be lying. But it does nothing for me. If this was all about just getting attention, I would sell you Jesus and live a rich life. You are doing exactly what I just said. You are alienating everyone. Sure am. Yeah, probably. I don't know. I just it's just sort of. I'm not sitting here good at writing out jokes and shit like that. I would have to record myself and then realize, like, go back and watch and pick out the funny bits. But that's not what I. It's just not what. That's not me. I wish it was. Just like I wish I could sing, or I wish I could rap. I don't know why the fuck it comes out the way it does. It's not like I was like, you can say, well, clearly you were listening to this person and you stole their style. No. My shit's mine. Unlike anybody else who, everybody else you can say, oh, you sound like this person or you sound like that person. TBG doesn't sound like anyone else. We make something new and unique. I have to joke to spread the word. Yeah, but comedy helps. That's why there's always funny bits in the songs. It's just, you have to laugh at yourself. You have to laugh at the world. You have to. It can't all be awful all the time. But right, we shouldn't have to spread the word. We shouldn't have to do like nothing. Nothing bugs me more than the commercials on TV that are like you're sitting here watching something, enjoying yourself, and then suddenly the commercial's like, oh hey, are you enjoying your life? Well, guess what? These dumb kids signed up for the military and got their shit blown to bits. Now they're the wounded warriors, and we need you to spend money on us. What the fuck are you talking about? If I would have known you before you went, I would have begged you not to go. You are not over there fighting for my freedom. You're not over there fighting for my benefit, even a little bit. I do not benefit from anything that the U.S. does anywhere else. And it's definitely not up to me to then, like, why is it if somebody comes home from the fucking shits and they're fucked up, why doesn't the government just take care of that person forever? Why would they need Wounded Warriors Project to do it? Does it do any good to start with insults? Oh, shut up. Stop crying. It's like gaslighting us into funding our own doom. Yeah, and it's it's all about guilt. Everything is, Christianity is guilt. It starts and ends with guilt. Jesus died for your sins. Oh, can you imagine somebody dying for your sins? Glad they fought for our freedom. I get to get higher ups are worthy of this. Nobody fought for our freedom, you dumbass. Your freedom as an American has never been in danger. The only time your freedom is ever in danger is is from the United States itself. Whether it's some sort of draft or some bullshit, or it's you trying to leave the country, or, you know, you get pulled over by some thug who is having a bad day and doesn't like the way you look because you look like, you know, O'Banion, who used to beat him up in school. So now he's going to fucking take it out on you. He might not even realize he's doing it. It might be something triggered inside him that he doesn't even realize, but he's already pushing those buttons. And if he wants to, he can shoot you and not even get in trouble for it. That qualified immunity. I am out of here. I study how to build a community in a chat. I will contribute, or I will continue to learn. Good. That's good. Go learn about metzitzia b'peh. Go learn about Mishnah Nadav 5:4. Go read Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness, and learn about soul correction and all of their fucking rituals. You keep the chat room small by enjoying insulting. Okay. So it's my fault you're saying stupid shit. Got ya. You want to be acknowledged when you say something profound, but you don't want to be acknowledged when you say something stupid. Stupid ignoring the last 2 hours, right? Do I believe in God? No, I'm not dumb. I'm not a dumbass. I'm not, you know. Seriously, I know that sounds harsh, but I'm not dumb enough to believe in God. You have to be stupid to believe the narrative you're given and accept it. The religious narrative, the God narrative, is dumb as shit. It's dumb. It's flying spaghetti monster stupid. And instead of you'll say the flying spaghetti monster people are stupid. You'll say that Muslims are stupid. You'll say that the same Christians that you are, but these guys are Baptists and they talk to fucking snakes and shit. Using the same Bible and shit, but they speak in tongues. And you will call them fucking crazy. Those people are nuts. But not your thing. Not the thing where you pretend to drink blood and eat dead body. Not the thing that, you gotta, when you're born, they do it to you, but then when you have a child, if it's a boy, you're gonna insist that it gets mutilated almost immediately after being born, to protect the earth, because God's gonna destroy the earth if the Jews don't circumcise. And circumcise their slaves. I already know about all you said Talmud stuff. Why assume people are stupid? Yeah, I don't know. Huh. No idea. I have 2 viewers and 8 likes. If you don't think anything's weird or wrong with that, you're pretty stupid. How'd we get here then? Why is that a concern? Like, how we got here is not something I'm concerned with. I don't lose any sleep over it. I don't pretend it matters. I'll worry about how we got here when we fix the narrative we're in. I know that the religious bullshit has been the way it's been for as long as we're told things have existed. And it still hasn't come out like good. It still hasn't worked out yet. Still waiting on that Jesus to come back any day now. Any day. I know if that shit was the truth, people would steal it. You know, you wouldn't have to force people into thinking that way. But, you know, how did we get? I don't care. I am much more concerned with fixing the now than trying to figure out a past that is completely controlled. I definitely don't think that God needed a gardener. I mean, if you're going to say it, you have to go with what it says. God needed a gardener, so he made Adam. Then they sat around making and naming all of the different animals. And then Adam was like, hey, why do all those animals get to stick their thing in that thing? It looks like it's made for that thing. So it seems to be, they seem to like it. They seem to do it a lot. Where's my thing? And God was like, oh, you're doing this again. Because it had already happened with Lilith. But Lilith was made from the same way God was made, or Adam was made. So she was super independent, and she didn't listen, so she was banished, apparently. But that part's left. That's if you go into those missing books of the Bible. That's not in the Bible itself. So God's like, all right, puts Adam to sleep, pulls his rib out, makes Eve. Then he's like, all right, guys, I got to go to work. So I know I'm omni-everything. There is no time and space, so I already know what's going to happen, theoretically. And I'm watching everything you do because I'm everywhere at all times, right? But I got to go to work. That one tree right there that has those shiny apple-looking things, you can't eat from that. You can do anything you want, just don't eat from that tree. It's a tree of knowledge. Now, you would think like some animals, some bugs, you know, they would have been eating from this tree by now, but I guess not. I don't know. God goes to work. Adam is sleeping because he just busted his first nut, passed out. Eve's like, well, that sucked. She's walking around, like, got that boost of energy. She's trying to clean the house or something. When all of a sudden, a talking snake shows up. Psst. Hey, come here. Snake. It's like, Eve, stop scratching your shit. Eve's just scratching her shit, scratching her butt, scratching her cooch, scratching her butt. He's like, but me itchy. Me itchy. I call it itchy, so me scratch it. It's itchy. And the snake's like, well, you know, you want that shit to stop? And he's like, anything. Me give anything to have itchy stop. Snake's like, all right, go take a bite of that apple over there. And Eve's like, no. God said me not do that. And the snake's like, you want to smell your fingers? Ooh, you stinky. Okay. You want that to stop? Go take a bite of the apple. Are you sure? Yes, go take a bite of the apple. So Eve takes a bite of the apple. She has one of those Google Earth moments where she... and then comes back in. And she looks down and goes, oh, I'm fucking naked. So there's bugs all in my coochie and asshole. Oh, that's why I'm so itchy. Okay. And she's also given the knowledge on how to make clothes out of leaves, out of palm leaves. She whips up a little bikini ensemble, wakes up Adam. She's like, hey, Adam, get up. Adam's like, well, you want to do a thing again? And she's like, yeah, but just wait. I want you to go take a bite of that apple. And Adam's like, why you talk different now? You sound funny. You sound like he sound. She's like, yeah, go take a bite of the apple. And Adam's like, no. Yeah, I know, I went through this already. Go take a bite of the fucking apple. You want me to suck on that thing again? Go take a bite of the apple. And Adam's like, all right, sweet. Give me the apple. Adam takes a bite, Google Earth experience. Suddenly he's like, oh, so yeah, that's why my fingers stink, because I'm scratching my butthole because I got bugs all in there. Oh, can you whip me up a pair of those? I'm gonna call them shorts. You whip me up some shorts? Eve's like, boom, already done. And just as this is happening, God gets home from work and he walks into the garden and he's like, Adam, wherefore art thou, Adam? Because he doesn't give a shit about Eve. And Adam and Eve are like hiding behind a tree, like off to the side. And God, with his omni everything, doesn't know where they are. And he's going, Adam, wherefore art thou, Adam? And Adam and Eve are like, fuck, we gotta go out there, it's gonna, oh, fuck it, let's just go. And as soon as they walk out, God's like, ah, bitch, why you not naked? You took a bite of the fucking tree, didn't you? Why you got clothes on? Why you got clothes on? I want you to be naked. And Adam's like, yeah, man, I got bugs in my, that's why I was always itching and shit. Why do we have to make little tiny bugs that go in people's assholes to begin with? And God's like, I don't give a fuck, okay? Fuck this. I am so mad. I'm so sick of this shit happening. I want you to be little naked gardeners, okay? And you go and take a bite of that tree I told you not to. And Adam's like, why the fuck did you put it there then? The tree of knowledge. I'm smart now. I can fucking, look, I can have a conversation with you. And God's like, no, hell no. That is not okay. You know what? Bitch, I know this was all your fault. So, from here on out, whenever women have children, they gonna die. I mean, not every time. But they gonna be in horrible pain. It's gonna be awful. You're gonna die a lot of times, but it's gonna be awful for you, cause you done took my little naked gardener away. Now get the fuck out. I don't even want you here no more. And so Adam and Eve, who have 2 children now somehow, they leave, and their children end up taking, Cain and Abel, end up taking wives from the people of Nod. But Adam and Eve were the first people in the Garden of Eden. So where did the people of Nod come from? Oh, well, that's just the lost book stuff. That's just the hidden stuff. Right? I mean, while you are going on the story, at least get some of the parts right. What am I getting wrong? By all means, please tell me what part I'm getting wrong. It's to stop a loss or create a gain in some matter. Or they're just pathological liars. Or they're lying to fucking protect something, or as you say, keep the gain is the keeping the perspective what it is. And protection, if they're open and honest and they acknowledge the fact that, hell yeah, we rape little girls and call them our wives, and they can't say that shit. If you were 100% honest with yourself and with the shit, there's no way you would believe in Jesus, in Christianity, in any of that shit. It's dumb. As far as why is Christianity a religion? To control people. The lie was created by men like Julius Caesar and Augustus to try to stabilize the Roman Empire, as they realized its destruction would come from inside. So, where do you get that from? Were you there? Do you have any sort of direct lines to any of it? Julius Caesar and Augustus and all that. You don't know any of that shit. That's all just bullshit. Those are just bullshit lies, characters. These are just narratives they've given us to control us. None of those characters are real. George Washington, that's not a real fucking character. That's not a real person. just studying secondhand reports. You don't think they're smart enough to come up with secondhand reports? And also provide them to you just so they can be like, well, just in case you were questioning it, here's some secondhand reports. You see? So it does fit the standard. In the end, Rome fell as feared as in beard, ripped apart from the inside. Imagine being an atheist and Jesus steps through the wall. If that happened, that'd be great. Like, I don't have see, the thing is, the atheist isn't going to have an issue with it. The atheist is going to go, oh, well, at least there's some evidence for it now. Hey, I've got some questions to ask you, you motherfucker. Whereas the Christian, if there was a game show setting and they was like, all right, behind door number 2 is God, is Jesus, get ready. And the door opened and there was nobody there was nothing there, they'd flip the fuck out. They wouldn't accept it and roll with it and ask questions and shit. They'd be like, what are you talking about? This is real, no. I speak to the voices in my head. My Nana told me this is true. Plenty of evidence. Is there? There's plenty of evidence of Bigfoot even though. True. There's more evidence that Bigfoot exists than that he doesn't. There's definitely no more evidence of Bigfoot than there is Jesus. But the thing is, again, it's all about your capacity for understanding. Okay? Understanding that the evidence that you're given is just, could be anything. Every single person you're ever presented with in some sort of higher up capacity could absolutely be a part of the system, a part of the lie, and you wouldn't have any fucking idea otherwise. You've already accepted the narrative beforehand, so then the lie comes naturally. You have no reason to believe in dinosaurs other than because you were told to. And then you were presented with what you were told are skeletal structures and whatnot. Never do you realize that that's all fake. All of the dinosaur skeletons you've ever seen are fake. Plaster, mold, fucking whale bones and shit. It's all just fake bullshit. The real bones are locked away in the Smithsonian. Oh, yeah. They lasted however many millions of years it was till now, but now we need to lock them away for their own safekeeping. Yeah. It's not censorship here. There's no community here. Right. Gotcha. No evidence of saying. No evidence of pic for couple pics, some video, nothing more. Oh yeah, you're a Bigfoot expert now? All the supposed hair samples, all the supposed footprints. There's lots of evidence for it. Videos and pics don't prove anything other than exactly what's shown. Evidence proves a legit one. Tons of pictures of Santa, no pictures of Jesus, only paintings. Dumb as fuck. I rest all cases. But the outsiders coming, build the community. Dude, your page is 2 months old. Your channel is 2 months old. Do you understand that the experience in this situation that we have had who have been here for many years in some cases? Experience tells us that anytime it's somebody with a page that's 2 months old, they're probably Israeli. Israeli or Jewish, one of the two. They're probably not someone to take seriously. Anytime somebody comes on here and tries to tell us to stop talking about things or change what we're talking or anything, why would you even be here? Especially, you've been here many times before, too. And they did, and look where we are now. So, wait. Oh, so we could take pictures 2,000 years ago, Matt? You're, Y-O-U-R, so bright. uh, the thing is, when it comes to Jesus, amazingly, when it comes to the Bible, when it comes to Exodus, when it comes to all that stupid shit that you believe, even the given narrative that's fake, like the Egyptian history and shit like that, none of that fucking says anything about it. The only place where the biblical history exists is in the Bible. Man, shut up. Stop crying. There's often more false evidence than there is legit. Of course there is. Controlling the narrative. I mean, it's controlled opposition. What the fuck you think controlled opposition is? I guess you forgot when I agree with you 3 times, but you lied to fit your narrative as a fake person would do. A lot of people logic them and the actuality is anything besides what's desired. I mean, all I could say is you're doing exactly what they do. You're trying to make shit all about you instead of contributing to the actual conversation, whether it's to debunk or contribute. You're just playing a pretty standard role. It's just a different approach. It's the more friendly, hidden approach, where you're not outwardly being one of them, even though, again, your page is 2 months old. The thing that we do on this feed when it comes to any of it is try to prove it. Always try to prove the claim right. If you're claiming this or you're saying that, I'm going to go look and see what evidence is presented to validate your claim. I'm constantly trying to prove myself wrong. And in doing so, I prove myself right. Pawn's age of page has no weight. Yeah, right. Our experience, the years and years of experience doing this, shouldn't have any weight. We should just believe you. We should just accept what you're saying as some sort of truth, and then that's it. Keeps deliberately missing the point, like a robot. Yeah. A robot programmed by dumb friars who act like dumb friars. Notice how, again, he hasn't actually addressed that point that's been made several times. Program for failure. You live at home with your mom and dad still, right, Matt? I can't imagine trying to be a young person and afford life that exists today. Have a place of your own, have a car, have a phone, have these expenses that jobs don't pay for, and like Matt have to get 2 fucking jobs just to live. But notice how, right, assume I have 2 parents. Notice how, like, that's what they do. Instead of directly engaging in what's being said, they ad hominem and try to come up with other shit to say. This is the dumbass who claims God's real, Jesus is real, yet hasn't provided you a lick of evidence to prove it. I do lean towards religion had and important in our formation though I see it as barbaric and idiotic. It's an important role. Yeah, of course. Of course. Again, I hate... It sucks to be such a skeptic at this point, because I'm sure you end up missing a lot of stuff. But the December 21st, 2012, end of the cycle. The Mayans said it was the end of a cycle. It was Western America, the Western society, that turned it into the end of the world. But it was just the end of one of the great cycle, right? The 13,000 year cycle, where they say that it's a 26,000 year cycle, my bad, where 13,000 years is the golden times and 13,000 years is the dark times. And we had just ended the 13,000 year dark time, and we're heading into the new good time, the new golden time. And it also coincides with Pisces and Jesus, like, from what science and astronomical bullshit and like all the stuff that they don't even bother trying to explain how the zodiac came to be and all that. But according to how that works, we passed out of Pisces and went into Aquarius. Pisces symbolized the two fish, symbolized Jesus, symbolized man needing to be told what to do. Aquarius, the water, the flow, is that man no longer needs to be told what to do. We know what to do. And we move towards it. And if you look at really how the world has changed since December 21st, 2012, it's kind of fucking like spot on. Unfortunately, the dark time is going to hold on as best as it can, and we have to go through some turmoil before the true golden... But we're already in the golden time. The fact that so many of us are awake to the idea that these fucking sick bastards are raping their own children, Mishnah Nada 5:4. This has been going on the whole time. Why my dad, why my grandfather didn't say these things? Maybe it's because they're pre December 21st, and who knows? Maybe it's my kids that are going to be the ones that really do something, because, neither one was. They were both born just before that. My youngest, literally a couple months before that time. Not only don't I believe in Jesus, if Christian God were legitimately God, I'd prefer to burn in hell anyways. Yeah. Because the God that says the only unforgivable sin is blasphemy is questioning it. Is suggesting that it might not be real. Means you're going to be up there surrounded by pedophiles who said, I'm sorry. Because, again, the only unforgivable sin would be questioning things. Going to a heaven with a God that see fit to create all souls, realizing the vast majority would soon be sent to hex. Why do you keep saying hex instead of hell for eternity by him? I'd rather not be around such a God. I'd see such a being as the most sadistic and evil being in existence. Yeah, I mean, the being that is literally watching from as closer than this, as the children are being raped by clergy, screaming, crying, begging God, please help me, by all the frazzle drips children and all the Epstein children and all the God's watching all that shit happen, huh? The God who could dinkle dinkle dink and make it all fucking change does nothing about it, right? Maybe if you were more patient, the community would shut the fuck up. Yeah. The problem is not anything being done. Again, 9 viewers, 9 likes. That's not how shit works. The most evidence that we see in any of it is the censors. Like I have the very best evidence possible. Right? I have the very best evidence that I'm the fucking guy that they're scared of and that has this shit at least somewhat figured out. And that evidence is the fact that no one's going to see it. The censorship is the best evidence. And I mean, it's defeating in itself. Hence, if you proved the Bible accurate, I'd still not worship and would prefer hacks versus heaven for eternity if it's on the line or other. Granted, hell would suck. Bible can't be proven accurate without delusion. It's fucking stupid. It's literally, it's fucking stupid. It's insultingly fucking stupid. It shows in every single conversation you have with a religious person. I mean, not only is it shocking that I've never had a Jewish person that can come on here and engage me in any sort of realistic or reasonable fashion. I've been doing the Christian bashing, the Christianity bashing for as long as I can fucking exist, right? You know, long before I could even go live, I'm making the songs about it. I'm doing videos and uploading videos about it. I have been questioning Christianity since I was a wee lad. A wee lad. And nobody, with all of the fucking 28% of the world's population that's Christian, isn't it strange that not a single pastor, a single fucking priest, a single religious clergy of any scholar, you know, approval, anything like that, has been told about or stumbled across this feed or anything, come in here and said, all right, young man, you think you're such hot shit, let's do it, let's talk. And we have the discussion, and they consistently pick apart my arguments. It's never fucking happened. You're still here, Herbie, proving your hypocrisy. I see people coming in, and you drive them out. Yes, I'm driving everyone out. The enemy, devil, wants you to not believe in God or the Bible, thus the goal accomplished. Why would the devil not want me to believe in the Bible? Because then I wouldn't believe in the devil. Do you understand that? If you don't believe in the Bible, you don't believe in the devil, you fucking moron. Like, this is that stupidity I just can't believe that people say out loud. Or type, whatever. And they don't see the fucking, the hypocrisy, the stupidity, the irony in anything they're saying. Right? How can you be that stupid? The devil doesn't want you believing in it. Why? It's fucking stupid. And you ask, like, where do you even get this information from? Obviously, you heard some other dumbass say this at some point, and it resonated with you for some dumbass reason. At what point, like, where do you get this information from? Why do you think this way? Yeah, you're Y-O-U-R, lost, sucks, but that's just how it is. You and Matt both. Right, you notice how whenever they start getting cornered or asked to elaborate or, you know, prove their side, it's suddenly, we're the lost ones, we have the veil on, and God says you can't. The Bible says that some people just won't believe it, so don't bother trying to talk to them. Don't bother trying to show them evidence. They just won't believe it. So don't talk to them because they might get you to not believe it, and you don't want that to happen. How does anything that's confident in itself want you to not talk about it? Like, how does anything that's confident in itself worry about, you know, something turning it against? Like, for me, I encourage you to try to pick apart everything I'm saying as fine-tooth combed as you can. And I want you to find whatever holes I have in my fucking presentation, in my armor, and expose them now so that when I'm in the ring, when we're in the actual fight, those holes, those weaknesses can't be exploited. But this is the best we get, just some fucking crybaby shit. If you agree that the Bible states that the vast majority of people go to hell, and you think, if you didn't believe in hell, you wouldn't be scared to say it. You'd think you'd find nirvana in heaven knowing such. LOL, I couldn't see such a being as a decent one yet. I mean, I think I get what you're saying. But if you actually believed in hell, if you actually thought there was a chance you could go to hell, you would know that shit inside and out, front to back. You would know exactly what the Bible says. You'd know what all the lost Bible, you just in case. If you thought that going to hell for all of eternity, where you're burning in God with his gay guy suit on and his pitchfork that's poking you in the butt all day, if you actually thought that was a thing, you would do everything in your power. You would live by the biblical rules, even though that means you're going to go to prison. You would stone your disobedient children, and you would do all, because the Bible says to, and I'm not fucking going to hell, boy. Females, you'd shut the fuck up as you're supposed to, because you would not want to risk going to hell, especially knowing what a vengeful shitbag God your God is. What an insecure, looking crybaby bitch ass God you have. You don't believe what I'm saying. I don't like that. You want some plagues? Here's some plagues. I'm gonna plague against your children. Wins your soul either way. What a dumbass. See again, when you can't actually engage in the conversation, you start saying dumb shit like this. I was raised Christian and now I'm not. What am I losing out on? My mental enslavement. Well, 10% of that money you work so hard for, you're missing out on giving that away to some pedo organization. It gets tiresome. How long can a person last? Depends on how hot she is. A lot of people turn to religion in desperation. Absolutely. Lots more people find fucking God in prison than anywhere else. People aren't fucking living their best life. Kids like to say that. People aren't living their best life and they're religion free, and they suddenly just start like, you know what? I think I'm gonna be a Christian now and start giving my money to the church and start putting all these limitations on that's not how it works. Even Conor McGregor, they make Christians are making such a big deal out of shit. It's so funny. But it's like, when Conor McGregor wasn't religious, he was a fucking monster, right? Now that he's found God, well, he's gonna break his fucking leg. First fucking break his snap a tendon or whatever. First move of the fight. Biggest letdown, blah, 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 blah. But he's found Jesus. And he only found Jesus because, he raped this broad. And he was a drug addict. And he fucking, he was a piece of shit person before he got a whole bunch of money. And then he got a whole bunch of money. Conor McGregor raped a broad? Like the story, she had to get fucking a tampon surgically removed because he raped her while she had a tampon in. And Conor's got a big fucking dick. You can see it in the weigh-ins when he walks out in his panties. That dude's, he carries himself like he does. So here's the deal. Oh, here we go. Here's the deal. I have given you fact, and your rebuttal is denial and calling people stupid. That's what you're good at, and all you can do. What fact have you given? Let's see. Wins your soul either way was the comment before that. The comment before that was the enemy devil wants you to not believe in God or the Bible, thus the goal is accomplished. Those are the only two things you've said. What fact are you talking about? I love how they do that shit. And it's their insecurity. It's their bullshit that's coming through. Like, he's got to set it up in a way. Like, here's the thing. I gave you fact. You're that stupid that you're going to say that those two previous comments were facts when all I got to do is go back and look? Oh, now it's in previous conversation. Didn't I say this earlier? I said how they'll do that thing where they say, oh, I've done it before, so I can't say it again. I can't provide those facts again. I'm just going to rely on the idea that you remember what I said in the past. Who has facts and is like stingy with them? When you have facts, when you have the truth, you bust at the seams trying to get it to people. Even if you said it before, you have no problem saying it again because it's the facts. It's the truth. But this coward is doing what the cowards always do and pretending like, oh, well, I gave you facts beforehand, but I'm just not going to say them now. Because, I'll say a bunch of dumb shit that I know won't matter and that you're not going to take seriously and all that. But when it comes to the facts, if I say them, you won't take them seriously. So I'm not going to say that. I'll say everything else but that. These are the dumbass excuses they come with, right? Let's see. See, look at him. He wins his arguments by demeaning people. Great strategy, bud. Keeps you coming back, doesn't it, dumbass? And I'm demeaning you. I'm demeaning you by pointing out the fact that you are lying. Or lying, or just being the typical douchebag who's lying. Pretending that you said something in a previous conversation when you're lying. You never said anything previously that was any sort of facts or anything profound. That's why nobody remembers it. That's why you're not running with exactly that, right? You're not starting with it. What prevents you from saying these facts again? People are stupid, though. Even smartest people I've studied always come to realization they were stupid as fuck, too. Even the geniuses. Yeah, of course we're stupid. We've been taught to believe in lies. We're made to be stupid. You believe in stupid things like the ball spinning around through a vacuum of space, revolving around a big on fire star that's somehow on fire. Like, it's all just stupid. It's insulting. It's kick to the nuts. Humbling. It's absolutely humbling when you realize, like, holy shit, I'm stupid as fuck. They made me stupid. They made me say stupid things like dinosaurs. They make me say stupid things like, I believe in Jesus. I'm gonna vote. My vote matters. They give me two choices and I pick one. If you say, hey, I'm going to slap you in the face, pick a hand, I'm smart enough to say, well, what hand are you? And if you say you're right-handed, I'll pick the left hand because you probably can't hit as hard when you're with your non-dominant hand. Smart, smart, smart. It's when you realize that you can say, like, I'm not getting smacked by you. And if you try, I'm going to hit you back. Or hit you before you even hit me. Right? That's when you start to wake up to it. Oh, Jesus is the truth. Nothing else matters. Oh, look at that. Well, there you go. There's a profound statement there. Jesus is the truth. The Jewish guy from 2,000 years ago that died and supposedly is a zombie, even though, again, nobody ever saw zombie Jesus. The story basically describes somebody stealing a dead body, but you want to say it's because he arose from the dead and moved the big cave rock with his now super strength and then completely bailed on everybody. That's the Jesus you believe in. 8 viewers, 10 likes. Let's keep it going, people. Like, share, sub if you're watching. It's okay for people to believe in Jesus. No, it's not. It's okay for people to know Jesus is just another false god too, though. No, it's not okay for people to believe in Jesus. It's a lie. People believing in lies is not okay, especially when that shit is used to control and divide us. We're just lucky that they haven't instituted a Christians fight, Christians attack strategy. Because when they do, there's going to be a lot of dumbass people out there that are willing to fight, that are willing to commit crimes, willing to assault and hurt other people in the name of their Jesus. People come back, but most don't. Yeah, you're right. Most people just don't come back. Again, it's like this ad hominem where you keep trying to turn this into a popularity contest. When you can't actually engage in the conversation, you're trying to be like, oh, it's those passive aggressive insults. Well, see, you don't have enough viewers. It's not because you're censored. 7 viewers and 10 likes is totally normal. You do this every time you can't answer for something. It's interesting to see. Hey, you get some help. There we go. Now we're gonna be the friar has run out of shit to say. So now we're gonna start going with mental illness. You need some mental help. You don't believe in Sky Daddy. You don't believe in Jewish supremacy. Oh, you need help. You have a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. You need medication. You need to take your meds. Take your meds. Come on, take your meds, Cupid ye. He's literally explaining how you're wrong, and your ego is so fragile you don't let yourself believe it. Believe it all of you who disagree with facts, guy is stating. Well, I'll come back without ever leaving. Okay. You all are ignorant, arrogant assholes projecting onto us, and you need to hear it. Well, again, I mean, why are they here to begin with? For the umpteenth time, they're here crying about the same shit. Sure seems like I matter. Like they really, really need me to believe the same shit they believe. Because without me believing it, it lessens their ability to believe it, or it invalidates their belief or something. I don't fucking know. It's really interesting to see. Who disagree with what being said? Mary's here. Good. Why do you always come towards the end, Mary? Mary, you always come towards the end. We are energy stuck in fluctuation. There's infinite fluctuations left. You're not infinitely complicated in structure nor consciousness. Yet that whole you're nothing special thing is just another one of their control schemes. All that shit about... I mean, how many of you have actually seen a fucking tree take in some carbon dioxide and expel some oxygen? Have you ever actually seen that happen? No? Have you ever actually seen a microscopic invisible germ jump inside a body and make somebody sick? Meaning everyone is bound for infinite recurrences. No, everyone is not. There are a lot of really stupid, basic NPCs out there. And they're never going to do anything but what they're told. They're never going to be anything other than cogs in the wheel. The wheel can change, and there'll be cogs in a different wheel, but they're never going to be the gears that make the wheels turn, or whatever. I don't know where that analogy is going, but they're just pieces of the puzzle. They just play their fucking role. They're NPCs. Not saying it's bad. Again, I don't think being a follower is a bad thing. It just depends on what you're following. If you're a follower of horrendous, awful shit that enslaves people and keeps us stupid and keeps us looking for a savior outside ourselves, well, that's wrong. And the thing that most people can't handle is that they're wrong. Like, it's okay to be wrong. It's not an insult to say somebody is wrong. It's not insulting you to say that you're wrong about something. You have bad information. You didn't think things through. Whatever it may be. It's just pointing something out. I'm really sorry that your childhood was so horrible. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Running out of shit to say, so it's ad hominem. Because you can't fucking do it. You can't stay focused. You can't make any reasonable arguments. Now it's my childhood was so horrible. Oh, I'm really sorry that your childhood was so horrible that you don't believe in Sky Daddy. For no fucking reason. I'm still waiting for this infallible reason as to why we should think what you think. You have not provided a single shred of evidence for why we should believe what you believe. Matt, calling everyone ignorant? Good idea. You're going to scare people away, Matt. Hey, Matt, stop calling people ignorant. I'm trying to build my community here. I'm trying to build my audience. I don't want to alienate anyone. I don't want to upset anyone. I want to cater to every... Guys, I love you. Hey, I love you guys. I love each and every one of you. Does that make you feel better? Does it make you feel better when the host of the stream tells you he loves you? Does that make you feel better? Do you believe that? Means all possibilities aren't just possible. It actually bound for her. Yeah, that's the dumb shit they say. Lots of crap per usual. It's defense. It's the system defending itself the only way it can. The system is not capable of defending itself in any sort of intelligent way. But it still needs to defend itself. So it's going to do everything it can to try to distract us into talking about something else. And that's what we're doing. We're not talking about Mishnah Nadav 5:4. If me saying the same things over and over again is so boring, why do they try to stop me? Shouldn't they want me to bore my audience and lose them and shit? Read the Bible. It clearly says people seen him. People seen him? Did people seen him? Nobody saw him. You don't see... If you actually knew what you were talking about, you would have then posted the actual verse or whatever. No, sweet tits. Jesus dies, gets put in the cave, the big rock gets put in front of the cave. 3 days later, people show up to go pay homage or whatever, and they're shocked because the rock is moved and Jesus' body is gone. And that's that. Jesus never, Jesus abandoned everyone. He's up there just waiting for the prayer jar to fill up so then he can ascend back down. And as soon as he touches the ground, his little toenail touches the ground, then all of the 17 good Christians in the world get raptured and we go into 4,000 years or whatever it is, 400, I don't remember, 400 years of Armageddon. Bum, bum, bum. And Armageddon doesn't talk about tanks and planes and bombs and shit. Armageddon's like, yeah, the guy with the horses are going to come down. The angels of death, and they ride their horses, and they're different color horses. Uh-huh. And all of the people all over the world who've never even heard of Christianity They're fucked. They didn't even have the choice to, is God their savior, Jesus their saviors? Nope. They'd never even heard. All the children all over the world who were raised in different environments never even heard of Christianity. Fuck them. They all fucking die. Armageddon, starvation, pale horse, fucking plagues, and bum bum bum. Right? That's what you guys believe. You'll face every potential good and bad situation. No, you won't. You won't. Anyone play the good cop role here? No, there's no games being played, dum-dum. Tens of thousands of people have seen Bigfoot, according to them. Yeah, but tens of thousands of people are stupid. Every single time, yep, that's how it is. The energy you're comprised of right now, very, very, very relevant, comes together and form a structure you are. Though it does an infinite amount of times, God damn, like that shit is just dumb. Why would you go into that whole thought process? Infinite possibilities, and there's a you that experiences everything. And like, okay, so if there's a me that experiences everything, and then, you know, when a choice comes down to being made, then it splits, and there's all in one person, one me that goes makes this choice, another me makes a different choice, and a different choice, and a different choice, and then those branch off, right? And then we come to another branch, and those, it's like each time the me from before that branched off in this way can't then branch off of this new me, because that's branched in a different direction. That me is experiencing a completely different situation than what I experienced. They got in the car accident. They died. They did, you know, they got rich. They did whatever. They you know, it's just so stupid. It's such a waste of fucking time and energy and thought. Beliefs as such don't mean much to me. They affect you, though. We are called to bring people to Christ. That's why I was here. Yeah, but you're doing a terrible job of it, aren't you? And who called you to do that? I mean, I always try to point that out to Christians. Like, Christians, the Bible doesn't tell you to sit around with other Christians and stroke each other. It tells you to find people like me and bring them into the fold. And yet, every single time, every single conversation I ever have with anyone Christian or religious, I always think I'm as far away from Christianity as I can be, and then I talk to somebody. And I go, oh, I guess I'm a little further than I thought. Because every single time I talk to one of these people, I'm amazed by how fucking stupid they are. And it's just shocking. And you would think I'd be used to it by now, but it just doesn't happen. I have seen a germ attacking cellular structures. I bet you have. We both instantly got it, Mary. That was awesome. In the chat room with more people, multiple conversations going on, and then I shut up. I don't specifically like what the afterlife has in store. I'd prefer if it were different, but I don't let my desires wrap my rationality and logic. You think about the afterlife. You put any sort of thought into what's going to happen when you die. Instead of putting all your thought into your life, you're putting it into a death based on some bullshit made up nonsense that, for all you know, you shut the fuck off. That's it. You shut off. Hope you did a good job. Your energy disperses. Who knows? Our thought, you know, I mean, the Rockstar thing is the Rockstar exercise, a KRS-One. It's a really good exercise, and it does branch into some really interesting shit. But none of it fucking matters. Once you die, if you get reincarnated, you don't know. If there's this, that, and the other that happens, it doesn't matter. I am so much more concerned with what's happening in my life, and not even my life, in the world that I live in, where apparently children are being raped constantly. I'm not okay with that. If we're all just one big organism, energy that all attaches to, then my energy is being violated by in those situations. I mean, look at how fucked up our lives are right now. Considering we're at the pinnacle of technology, yet we're things suck. Everything's so hard. It's really a crazy situation. Maybe we're all feeling it. Maybe we're all being attacked by it. Maybe our energy is being violated because, yeah. Sweet. Yep. I know. All right. Good job, Mama. Bye. Nissus! You are starting your job today. The one that Mom was talking about. So you need to get in the shower.
Wait, when? Now?
At 2 o'clock. You're starting at 2. So shut down, get in the shower. You should be happy, dude. Yep, this is what it... All those years we told you to really relish being a kid, because it changes. Well, welcome to it.
Literally, I'm back. I just got a gun, but I died because stupid cops wanted to kill me, and then I had to kill them back, and
Yeah. Sucks to be a G. No, you're working from 2 to 8 today. Pretty fucking cool, man. Oh, stop. Hey, don't even worry about it. Get in the shower. You need to have the right mindset going into it, so all the bullshit is going to stop.
I know, but you.
No, not but. It's just going to stop, okay?
Yeah,
Nate!
No, I'm making a joke.
Okay, don't worry anymore.
Look what there.
Just let it go.
I said he owes me $3 million.
You'll figure it. Mom will be home soon. Get in the shower. Worry about the shower now.
I had to sign a thing.
You probably will. I'm just skipping all these comments. Sorry. No cult here. It's a cult. It's a truth cult. Fuck it. I mean, people will call it whatever they want. At the end of the day, nobody is asking anybody to sacrifice, to dress a certain way, to speak a certain way, to revere any certain... I don't ever tell anybody to, like, I'm special, you need to revere me. You know? I'm somehow chosen to be the this, that, and the other. I think I'm really good at certain aspects of life, at certain parts of this. I'm really good at seeing things and blah, 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 but I'm really bad at other parts. And so I'm not some fucking leader or anything. I just happen to be good at a couple of things. And that's all this is. Oh, she got her shit. Nice. Everybody religious means only respectful. Religions are absolutely cults. I mean, it's just they just call it religion because it makes it more palatable. It's called religion because it makes people more comfortable. if you walked around saying I'm a member of the cult of Christianity, you know, there wouldn't be like, you have to have the good guy thing and then you have the bad guy thing. So, you know, Christianity is the religion, which is the good thing, whereas, you know, the Branch Davidians are a cult. You know? I mean, absolutely. If I got any sort of, you know, position, platform, if my shit took off and I have some sort of following, they would absolutely call you. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who knows? You start getting into the taxing and all that shit. I mean, it definitely gets fucking weird. Right? Like, it's, there's something else going on. But it's up to us. It's up to us to get through it, to get past it, and be better than. Just that simple. We're just gotta be better than. Cult, share, alter, cling to each other. Yes. Like, again, it's interesting how threatened you are by what we do, and yet you're way more cult-like than any of the supporters. You know, you're here way more than Mary ever is, or Matt ever is. Like, a lot. Like, it's not even close. Matt's not in his best form. Normally, Matt wouldn't be drug into things so easily, but Matt's not feeling well, so his defenses are down. You know, it's weird, right? Mary and I do this a lot, where we tag each other and shit and send each other shit. Matt sends me a lot of stuff, too. But, you know, Mary and I have a very similar style. And when you... Mary's like the female counterpart. It's weird. When we're doing, you know, it's like, you know, we both big fans of LJ. And yet, it keeps happening where it's like it's a disappointment, right? And I can only point it out to Mary because she's seemingly the only one that can even see my comments, let alone see what I'm saying. And it's what was the video today? I can't remember. I can't remember what LJ's video was today. But it's always something in the video where it, like, I'll be like, see what I mean? Isn't this fucking weird? And she's like, yeah, you're right. You know, this is strange how this works. And, you know, he said, watch, this person's going to do this. Like, LJ being such a Christian, as not just a truther, but a person of color, how the fuck is he such a Christian? It's definitely strange. It sucks. It sucks because it almost sounds like I'm, like, against all these guys. Or jealous, and I am jealous. I can admit I am jealous of all these guys that are allowed to have these huge followings and these huge feeds when they all push the same cult bullshit. Let the sun do its thing to the bread. It's so deflating. Right, it's not like I want these guys to be, like, I want them to be the real deal. Anybody that talks about Israel, anybody that that seemingly says the right things in certain circumstances. But there's always that voice of reason in my head saying, what do you think controlled opposition looks like? What do I think it's going to look like if it's controlled opposition? And controlled opposition is going to say all of the right things at the right time. But then they're also going to push the narrative when the narrative requires it, when the situation requires it. Resistance is false. Same with Israel. I like the phrase, when Israel becomes was real, everything gets a lot better. Kindle opposition everywhere. It really does make you, and maybe that's good. Maybe it's a good thing that we don't allow ourselves to be fooled. I don't know. It's weird. It has a negative aspect to it where it just frustrates you. It makes you feel alone, and it makes you so skeptical of everyone. I am so skeptical of everyone. Mary, I'm skeptical of Mary too. I'm skeptical of everyone in this game. And the thing is that skepticism is a good thing to have, and it's not an insult to anybody, especially when, it's obvious. Like, if I'm still talking to you, it's because even though I'm skeptical of everything, you make it, you take it away. You take away that skepticism with your presentation. Right. No, I wouldn't say that. Damn. I mean, I never expect you guys to accept what I'm saying. I'm telling you to do this. I'm telling you whatever this information is, and you better believe it or else. I never say anything like that. I hope you guys... at the end of the day, I want to be wrong. I want to be just another NPC who thinks I'm going to go to heaven and life is great and doesn't, there's nothing to keep me up at night, cry myself to sleep over. I'm just going to believe in God, and God's going to answer my prayers. And God, I wish that shit was true. Seems like it would be a lot easier. Even though, if you believe the Bible and shit, you have to know that you're going to hell. Like, you're dooming yourself to hell. But I'd still like to believe it. You've escaped the Matrix, right? I can never enjoy my steak again. Although that's not true. I'm so disgusted with myself that I'm not. I can't say I'm a vegetarian anymore. I just got so sick of not enjoying food, and like, food was at least that one thing where I could. I was like, this is, I don't know. I'm really disappointed in myself. You should try it. It does make life easier. Yeah, again, I'm not dumb enough. What don't you understand about that? if I could just say, I don't give a fuck about anybody else, and I'm just going to believe in the utter absurdity that is the Bible and is Christianity and all that. If I could just do it, I would. But I'm not that dumb. And it really does require an almost infinite amount of stupidity to believe in it. You have to be, able to shut down your common sense, your critical thinking, your sense of duty, your decency. I mean, you just name it. It's religion is the worst of you. It's you being a piece of shit. Hang on. Oi. Has money, having insurance. Vegan nowadays. Soy food. Right, and that's it, right? Like, that's the other part of it, right? Like, the water that the food is supplied with is poison. The ground that it's in is poison. The air is poison. I don't know. At the very least, one of my sons is a vegetarian, and I couldn't be more proud of that. So, and that'll never change. He'll never not be vegetarian. He's the main reason we were vegetarian. Like, he was the one that started it when he was like 4. I mainly eat plants with milk, protein shakes as needed. My body feels like the nerves are high. Yeah. At the end of the day, I think, who's to say? Okay, get yourself clothes. So just put on some underpantses and a t-shirt for right now, and you can eat your lunch, and then once Mamula gets here, you'll be all right. He needs to know what where, Dink. You melon putting poop head. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oranges and grapes and cherries and tomatoes and it's weird. Definitely weird. 4 people watching, 10 likes. Just like so many people.
Or freaking graduate.
Neither. I think you should just put on
A t-shirt.
an
Oh, an undershirt.
yeah. You're gonna be fine. I'm sure they're gonna have a shirt for you to wear, or Mom will tell you what to put on. But for right now,
You're working at a fast food place.
No.
Restaurant over here. I mean, this one.
Oh, she's here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna get you a t-shirt. Hold on, because you're gonna be in the back.
Shh, shh, shh. Let's not say too much.
Oh, I forgot you were live. Okay.
Yeah, we don't say too much because weirdos, you know. It's for me wanting you. Saying it's censorship is delusional. Right. Yeah. And you're one of those people that's here every day. So I appeal to the people who don't like me so much that they watch me every day. And then I have feeds that have, you know, numbers that don't quite make much sense. But hey, it's not censorship. And literally I can show you how their shit works. Like I can show you act.il and I can show you Rise App and I can show you Team Jorge and how they literally, this is literally what they do. Got a cheese for you. Don't put those in yet. You gotta eat.
Take me out.
Oh. Here. Oh,
Undershirt and t-shirt.
there is no cheese. My bad.
You cut some. Oh, grab me the root beer, please.
What root beer? Oh. Sweet. Good. Oh, there. Sweet. Oh, sweet. So we even come to have the same cheese. I love how this person's pretending like they don't know what feed they clicked on. Is this the guy? Yeah. Me and my wasp spray. That's how things work. Here you go, Fagilio.
I'm really gonna be like school only. I have now work, and now I'm contributing to society, and not freaking doing something useless.
School is not useless, you moron.
I mean,
Oh. Yeah. I don't even know how long I've been on since the counter reset multiple times. But I'm going to go ahead and bounce. Go get your free download. Go get everything from the... Yeah, me too. Isn't this cool? Go get everything you need from the comment or from the description. Links are in the description. Link to the website www.the-bilderberg bilderberg-group.com. Free to listen to, free to download. When you click download, I ask you how much you'll pay. Click 0 when it's free. So have yourselves a great day. Go check out all links. It's the best presentation online. You can see for yourself. Right? You can watch me explain it all day, but you can see it for yourself. So I'll talk to you guys later. Maybe even later today. Who knows? But have a great day, pedophiles. Kill yourself.
kill yourself.
What was that?
Kill yourself.
What should the pedos do?
Kill themselves.
Kill themselves. Kill yourself.